مشاهدي فضائية جمهورية جنوب السودان، أحييكم عبر برنامج نبني بلدنا. برنامجنا اللي بيتناول بعض القضايا بتهم المواطن وبتهم البلد. وفي مقدمة هذا البرنامج الأستاذ كارلو أريغواني، وزميله أيضا الناشط في مجال المجتمع المدني ألا وهو السفير جون أندرو غاردوكو. مرحب بك في برنامج بتاعنا بتاع نبني بلدنا.
Thank you very much, Carlo, and I want to greet the people who follow the program wherever they are. Wish them health, and we'll continue to provide civic education with the factual information about building the nation.
Yes, factual information of building the nation. Ambassador, we are going to focus on four institutions in our civic education. One of these four institutions is the National Election Commission, plus the Political Parties Council, and then National Constitutional Review Commission, and National Bureau of Statistics. And we are advising our viewers across South Sudan. We have 4 acts of these 4 institutions which can really sensitize us to enlighten us about the preparation for the coming election. Your take, so that we can go in detail one by one, is slowly, is smoothly, so that every institution can provide its own act to the people of South Sudan, so that we move together as we promised them, because we are left with only 15 days to the end of that transition. The commencement of the
24 months.
Of 24 months is going to take place in this month, which is on 22nd of February, and then onwards. But we need to move together.
Thank you, Carlo. And once again, so I want to say this. The civic education for elections is very critical for this country. Republic of South Sudan it is a must move away from continuous transitional governments.
Yes.
We have been in the transition for revitalized agreement 10 years now. 10 years we have been in this revitalized government, because 2015, that's the first time agreement for resolve the conflict of South Sudan was reached, and it was revitalized in 2018. Now, from 2018 to this date, we have time of over 6 years of this transitional government. We want to say to the people of South Sudan, the time has come, we prepare for election. Carlo, before I go further, I want to congratulate the chairperson of Electoral Commission and all the Commission of Electoral Commission for appointing a new Secretary General.
Yes, yeah.
The new Secretary General for the National Electoral Commission has been appointed. Is somebody who is very qualified, because he used to be a Deputy Executive Director in the Office of the President.
Good.
Gabriel Bolding is somebody who is very qualified, and he will bring in the experience of the executive, managing that very huge office of President, to supporting the Electoral Commission. And it will become a bridge between the presidency
and the commission.
This one.
Yeah.
That is what was lacking in the past. Our message to the Electoral Commission and the entire commission is that please put aside your small differences and then work for the country, this country. What we need is prepare South Sudan to go for election.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Election is very critical to move this country from continuous transition to the elected government. As Carlos said, the clock is ticking toward the beginning of the 24-month of the extended period. Today is the 6th. That means that we're left with 15 days to beginning of the 24-month. In light of that, we want to appeal to the parties who signed the agreement that in order for us to conduct election on time in 2026, we need political will from our political leaders. And what is that political will? The political will is they have demonstrated, when I say they, the entire political party seeking to the agreement has demonstrated political will to resolve issues of national interest. And that is the extension which they did last year. When they did the extension last year, it is the political will of all of them collectively, not one person. As the president summarized it, that he reluctantly accepted the extension because he wanted to silence the gun. It is because of that background, we people of South Sudan give them, the entire government of national unity, an opportunity to demonstrate the effort to silence the gun, at the same time prepare for election. Now, Carlo, I want to say this.
Yes.
In order to silence the gun, we want the president and the entire government of national unity to double the effort to bring in the whole lot groups who have gun. People of South Sudan are very grateful for the very positive news which came through yesterday, that Brother Simon Gadwich and his teams have now accepted to implement the agreement which was signed previously with them. See, they remember that the Kitgum agreement was involving Simon Gadwich as well as our brother Olweny.
This is the good step for
Johnson Olweny. Johnson Olweny came, and then Simon remained behind. So the fact that his advanced team are now in Juba, this is for you people in diaspora. Simon Gadwich advanced team are already in Juba. That is very, very positive development. We must give...
And even it is good for preparation of election, because
Absolutely.
people have been talking about the security of the elections. And this is the part of the stability of security in the country, so that we can go on for elections in 2026.
In this occasion, Carlo, we must give credit where it is due. We congratulate the new Director General of the National Security Internal Bureau and the entire leadership there, His Excellency the President, and the government of national unity.
Yes,
for the political will to engage Brother Simon Gadwich to come and be part of rebuilding this nation. As program Build the Nation, we give credit where it comes from. We congratulate them. We wanted to double the effort also to engage General Thomas Cirillo. To double the effort also to engage General Kenyulo Buron. So all of them silence the gun. We can become part and parcel of South Sudan preparing for election. On the other side, we also will encourage our political leaders here to agree to remove obstacle to election.
Good. Now, our civic education is going to concentrate on the stakeholders for elections.
Yes.
And we are going to choose one of them, which is the traditional leaders.
Yes.
Traditional leaders, those are the leaders of people on the grassroots level. They need to be educated. They need to be sensitized. They need to be given information through media or practically to their institution, which is BUMA, regarding National Election Act, Political Party Acts, National Bureau of Statistics, and even National Constitutional Review Commission. These 4 acts, Ambassador, need to be simplified and disseminated to our traditional leaders, because they are the one going to receive other stakeholders for elections and for census and even for constitutional review, plus political parties. They are the one going to receive them. If they are not aware about the laws of these institutions, I think is going to be a gap. Therefore, within this program of Building the Nation, civil society, church leaders, and others, we need to double our efforts. This doesn't want money. Just get the information from the Minister of Justice. This act, the 4 Act is there. Get this act, read it carefully, and disseminate to the people on the grassroots level, so that we prepare them. By preparing them, Ambassador, we are targeting, our vision is for credible, peaceful, democratic, free and fair election.
Yeah.
Plus peaceful election.
No.
These peaceful elections cannot be done unless we disseminate the right information to the right people on the grassroots level.
Carlo, I agree with you 100%, but let me say this.
Yes.
I was saying that we need a political will to remove the obstacle which affected the conducting election in December 2024. And that obstacle among them is the constitutional review or the constitutional making process.
Mm-hmm.
Because
But still we are in need of that act so that we explain to the grassroots level.
I agree.
But go ahead.
I agree. That's why I was saying,
Mm-hmm.
let us remove the obstacle which delayed election last time.
Yes, yeah.
And we don't want another delayment, or population of South Sudan cannot and will not accept another extension.
Mm-hmm.
In order not to do extension or to delay the election 2026, we want to remove the constitutional making process from election calendar.
Wonderful.
Carlo,
Yeah,
constitution,
please, how can we remove?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, yeah.
there must be political will from the party signatory to this agreement. Let me elaborate here.
Mm-hmm.
We are not making constitution for political party. We are not making constitution for election. We are making constitution for the next generation. Permanent Constitutional Republic of South Sudan is not made for election. Election is a periodical activities. It happens in circle of every 5 years according to Constitution of South Sudan, the current interim constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the future constitution, if they want to change it, that's something else.
Mm.
But as we talk about interim constitution,
Mm-hmm.
election is conducted periodical after every 5 years.
Yes.
According to calendar which we have, the current government and the party called SPLM, which had majority at that time, was elected in 2010. But we have referendum and then independent declare 2011. Now, the next cycle of election is supposed to be 2015. Because after they conducting the election 2010, it prepared the national the assembly, which has promulgated the interim constitution, which allowed declaration of independent Republic of South Sudan, and then gave 4-year period for the transitional government. That is from 2010 to 2015. Now, at that 2015, we are supposed to have election. Unfortunately, every citizen of South Sudan knows, and friend of South Sudan who knows who in diaspora, we have the tragedy in 2013. That tragedy 2013 has impacted negatively the conducting election in 2015.
Yes, yeah.
Now, 2015, we have resolved this problem with an agreement called Revitalized Agreement, which was signing to end the conflict in South Sudan. Now, the first agreement was implemented to some extent, and then 2017 we have another crisis.
2016. Yeah.
We have another crisis. And now, that crisis of 2016, which pushed us up to 2018, that's when we signed now what they call Revitalized Agreement. What is Revitalized Agreement? Revitalized Agreement literally means the agreement which is signed on 2015 between the two parties, the government, the Tigonu, and the SPLM-IO, should be expanded.
This is 2015.
Yeah, to be expanded to include other parties who are not signatory to those that agreement 2015. That's the meaning of Revitalized Agreement.
This is why the 10 political parties who signed...
Other parties are brought in.
Yeah.
Revitalized means to bring more other people in.
Yeah.
So this is what happened. What we are interested in now is, as a country, our people must rally behind our government. We unite ourselves, we move together, and people prepare to give a democratic right to people of South Sudan, Carlo.
It is we to prepare them.
Yes, this is what
Government and us, we need to prepare our people so that we allow them to exercise the power which they have in the ballot paper.
Yes. The reason why I say the constitution making process must be the link for election calendar is because constitution making process is a long process. It cannot be rushed for political calendar.
And we have a good example, which is the national dialogue.
Exactly.
National dialogue has taken almost 3 years, from
Yes.
2017
Yeah.
up to 2020.
Yes.
And it has taken a long time.
Yes.
Also, this institution need to be given enough time so that they prepare the constitution according to the act which they prepared.
And it must not be rushed to election calendar.
Yeah.
It must be done for the next generation.
Yes, wonderful.
Constitution should not be politicized. If we push what they call constitution making now, with election calendar, it will become a political constitution. Republic of South Sudan, people don't want political constitution.
Yeah.
They want constitution which is neutral, which is for next generation.
Yeah.
Now this brings in the point. In order to have a constitution which is valid, which is transparent for everybody, the leadership, current leadership of the constitution making process must be neutral. It must be neutral, not belong to any political party. Anywhere in the world, constitution making process is not done by parties who are contesting election. It is done by people who are not contesting election. So we must not say constitution is for election. That's one. Number two, the census. Here with you here, Carlo, we have interviewed the DG of the National Bureau of Statistics. He was telling us.
Yeah.
He's saying he does not want to conduct political census. He would like to do scientific census, because census
it will help South Sudanese for many things.
Absolutely.
Not only election.
He says census is not about election.
Yeah.
Census is about many things. Election is just a small component of census. But census is for socioeconomic planning. He cannot accept to be pushed to conduct political census. He will do scientific census. I think he did very well because he's a professional.
Yeah.
In light of that, we are appealing to our people to delink the making of census with the election calendar. And then again, Carlo, let us be sincere to ourselves, the people of South Sudan. What is the meaning of census is, it is also for socio-economic planning, but also for fair sharing of the national cake.
Which is the wealth.
The wealth, yeah. The resources must be shared well.
And even power, Ambassador. Also, it is for power also.
Correct.
Power and wealth. It will help.
When I say fair, it must be proportion to representation.
Yes, yeah.
If, for example, somebody comes from a minority tribe, which are very few people, and somebody comes with the community which are big, the community which are big must have more national resources, because the people who are beneficiaries are more compared to those one which are fewer.
Yeah.
So to ascertain this thing, you cannot just do with a whim or political decision. It must be based on a statistic of census. So therefore, if we conduct census today, Carlo, Upper Nile will be the loser. Why?
We have been always repeating these things because most of the people who displaced all over South Sudan are from the Upper Nile.
Yes.
You can see some of them in the Greater Barghazal and some are in Greater Equatoria.
Yeah.
But those are our brothers. Here, even if they were displaced, they have the right to vote in the place where they are.
Yeah, but you see, so
if there is census also, they have to be counted in the place where they are.
That's why I'm saying.
Yes.
The census is supposed to.
But this is why we are educating ourselves, so that our politician knows and all of us we shall know.
This is the civic education now.
Yeah.
People are going to be counted where they are found at the night of the census.
Yeah. Good.
If I am in your house in Gudele, I slept there, I'll be counted in your house.
Yeah.
So the population displaced from Upper Nile in Greater Equatoria, Greater Barghazal, some of them went to the White Nile state in Sudan, and some of them crossed the country border to Ethiopia, and some in other places. They will not have sufficient time to return to their original Payam, Buma county.
And they will not be, the census will not go abroad. Census always, it is in the territory of the Republic of South Sudan. It will not go beyond the territory.
This is a very important point you put there, Carlo.
Yeah.
Because of that, we have to provide the correct information. We need census, yes. It needs time. It needs resources. the DG of the National Bureau of Statistics said categorically last time that since 2018, his organization or his institutions have not received money from the government. Since they don't receive the money, they're not able to do what they're supposed to do. What they have done up to this moment is the support from the development partners, which is making them possible to collect some data here and there.
And according to the interim constitution, Ambassador, of 2011 as amended,
Yes.
these institutions need to be decentralized. These institutions of ours...
When you say this institution, you mean what?
I mean National Bureau of Statistics.
Okay.
Need to be decentralized.
Yes.
All over 10 states up to the county level.
And the 3 administrative areas.
And deserve resources.
Yes.
The office which we have, maybe we have some offices in the other states. I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure for that. But according to the Constitution, they're supposed to be decentralized. Also, the National Constitutional Review Commission needs to be decentralized because we have a constitution within the state's government who will be responsible for the constitution of the 10 states and 3 administrative areas. It's supposed to be this institution. And this institution is only here centered in Juba. But according to the constitution, need to be decentralized also to the 10 states and 3 administrative areas.
You're making a very important point, Carlo.
We are educating ourselves.
Yeah, you made a very important point. What you are saying is this,
Yes.
if I heard you very well. You are saying that when you say this institution, you are referring to first time, this you mean you are referring to the National Bureau of Statistics.
Yes.
You are referring to constitution making process,
Yeah.
which is now by the Act say National Constitutional Review. The Act refer to it National Constitutional Review as a body.
Yeah.
But the activity,
even political parties,
Yes.
council need to be decentralized so that their main job to monitor registered political parties in this country up to the county level. They should know who are these political parties who are registered, preparing politics on the county level. Decentralization for this institution also is very important.
I hear you. I hear you very
Because the example, the clear example now, National Election Commission is a decentralized institution now. We have seen 10 high-level committees for 10 states. I'm not quite sure about the 3 administrative areas. And they have gone up to the county level. Through the media, we knew that even they have offices in the county levels. And it will go up to Payam and Boma.
Let me just say something here, Carlo.
Yes.
What you say is correct because you are providing civic education.
Yeah.
The institutions which are very critical for elections, you mentioned the National Bureau of Statistics, the National Constitutional Review. These are bodies which are important. If they finish their job, let us be clear so people don't misunderstand us. If they finish their work before the time of election, that is good. But at the moment, as we know it, because we are now left with 15 days to start the commencement of the 24 month,
yeah.
which was the main time of extension.
Yeah.
And to the best of our knowledge, through open source, public knowledge, we have not had the money being allocated to these institutions so they can do their work. Since they have not received money allocation, and also since we are in the country, we know that the country is facing financial challenges, which is not a secret. That's why public service and civil servant have not got salary for a very long time. Security organ not got salary for a very long time. If they get it, they get portion of the salary, but the bulk of it not get. Given that challenge the country is facing, we are recommending this as program Build the Nation to our political leadership. Let us be realistic and accept the following fact, that the financial constraint the country is facing will not make it possible to get the necessary resources for the institution we mentioned, the National Bureau of Statistics and the National Constitutional Review process, to complete its job in time because they need more time. They need more time. And the chairperson of the National Constitutional Review process, sitting in the same chair I was sitting here last time, we asked him straightforward. He said he needs at least 18 months to conduct the census. If
the resource
is given to him. Because if that is done, that means that also we need amendment of the Constitution. Do you see? Amendment of the Act or Constitution, amendment of Electoral Act, amendment of all other Act, it will take time. So if you go with that process, we cannot be able to conduct election on time.
Let us just go for a short break, so we can continue in this point. Viewers around the world and across South Sudan, let us go for a short break and we shall be back. Thank you.
The head coach of Blair Academy basketball.
President Riek Machar
into the net. South Sudan take the lead again.
The head coach of Blair Academy basketball.
President Riek Machar
into the net. South Sudan take the lead again.
The head coach of Blair Academy basketball.
President Riek Machar
into the net. South Sudan take the lead again.
The head coach of Blair Academy basketball.
مرحبا بكم مشاهدينا الاعزاء حول العالم وكروس ساوث سودان هنا في برنامج بتاعنا بتسيفيك اديوكيشن. Ambassador, you have been
I was making a point that the reality is, let us be sincere to ourselves. We don't want another extension. The population of South Sudan doesn't want an extension. Our development partner doesn't want extension again. So if we don't want extension again, it means clearly that the two activities, the National Bureau of Statistics cannot conduct census within the time frame provided.
We need to give them enough ample time. They can prepare for that because it is good for the country.
That's the point which I'm saying.
Yeah.
In the same way, the National Constitutional Review process will not be able to complete its work on time in order to conduct election. So if we continue to tie this thing, we are going to we'll be forced to make another extension because the constitutional place. The politicians who are arguing that we must have census first and we must have constitution before conducting election are not sincere to the people of South Sudan. Because the interim constitution can be used while we are in transitional period, even to make it better, so that we have elected parliament to promulgate the constitution, not this political party parliament. Because the parliament which is going to be elected will be having the right and the voice of people. The current parliament is their agreement, give them the right, we respect them, but they don't represent the people. They are handpicked.
They have percentages.
No, they are handpicked and they are the parliament of political party.
Yeah.
These are fact.
The percentages there is an agreement.
We are not disrespecting them.
No.
The party, the agreement give them the right to be member of parliament representing the political party. They cannot say they represent the people. Nobody elected them. People of South Sudan have not elected them, but they represent political party. Since the political
this is why, if the issue of discipline or misconduct there, the political party will replace its own.
That's why you see President issuing the degree, replacing, recalling. This is happening.
Both in executive and legislatures, yeah.
In elected future parliament, the president cannot issue degree to recall a member of parliament. The member of parliament can be recalled by the constituencies which elected the member of parliament.
Yeah.
Having said that, Carlo, let us move on.
Yeah.
We need the Electoral Commission to be supported.
Seriously.
Electoral Commission.
Even we, the citizens of South Sudan, we need to support election or Electoral Commission.
Electoral Commission is very critical to be supported because activities which we are required to be done early enough, like providing civic education to the population about the activities, must not wait the declaration election day calendar. They should prepare and start civic education and to prepare population for registration. You mentioned something very important. Our chiefs are going to be critical.
Yeah, those are the real stakeholders.
See the chiefs.
And they are neglected. even the political parties within their seminars, lectures, forums, trainings, they should invite these traditional leaders so that they can get some information from that training. It will help them in the future when they are going to the grassroots.
You see, my appeal is this, Carlo. We have civil society are divided,
Yeah.
just like human being. There's some tall, there's some short.
Yeah.
There's some with the money, some who don't have money. Those civil society who have convinced our development partners to provide resources to them, let them use those resources to advance interests of South Sudan.
Especially the grassroots people.
Yeah, interests of South Sudan. I repeat again, the civil societies who receive grant from some of the government's development partners, whether in the world, should use the resources to advance interests of South Sudan. What is the interest of South Sudan? The interest of South Sudan right now is to manage transition from government or political party under the peace agreement to the elected government. And this elected government will represent the people who are selected by our people. If you are a political party, you want to contest election, and you are afraid to go for election, then you are not a political party. Because election has got two outcomes.
Yeah.
Win, lose. So if you think that you are a political party can only go for election to win, and then you are not a sincere political party. It is our responsibility as citizens of this country to provide civic education like this.
So that the political parties will accept these two
Outcome.
options.
Yes, outcome.
Yeah, whether you lose
Or you win.
or you win. These two options are good in the elections.
And the decision to win and lose is the people of South Sudan,
Yeah,
for your information.
yeah.
That's why political party should first get the Electoral Act, understand what's the Electoral Act, so that they behave according to the Act of Election.
Now, we need them to go for civic education, to advise their masses on the grassroots level. Who are they expect these people on the grassroots level to be educated? It is all of us.
Yes, Carlo, but
The primary responsibility is for institution concerned, plus political parties and us.
let me just explain something here.
Yeah.
You see, Carlo, what I was meaning is this, that the first step to be eligible as a political party to participate in election is to be registered legally.
Yeah, and the political party council, political parties
And
council.
to register legally, there's a body called Political Party Council, which was
It's having its own act.
it is having an act of parliament.
Yeah.
And the act of parliament means
apply the law.
The rules and the guidelines concerning the political party was passed by the current parliament, although they are not elected, but they are
became a law.
legal parliament.
Yeah, signed by the president, it became a
They
law.
are legal parliament, and they made the law. The law was taken to president.
And this is the primary work by any parliament in the world, to prepare
Yes.
laws.
Yes.
And these laws, yeah, go ahead.
So I'm saying this is very important. So if the political party first register, and then before you register, you must know what is the Political Party Council Act. You understand it, you qualify, you are registered. When you are registered, and then the next thing is to understand the National Electoral Act. The Electoral Act you must understand. Then when you know that one, you also know the Act for Constitutional Review. You must also know the Act for conducting census. All these acts, if you have them as a political party, and then you cannot provide civic education like we are doing now if you don't understand the Act.
Yeah.
Because some of people we had recently in some station, they are talking things which are not correct.
out of the law.
Yeah. So, for example,
Assuming.
somebody is saying, unless we have refugees returning from the refugee centers, we cannot conduct election. That is not correct information. Because a refugee is an individual who or she fled the country for reason known but to him or herself. People fled not because of war only. Some people they went away because they fear political prosecution. Some just run because other people also are going. But once you cross the country, you register in a neighboring country as refugees, your return to your country origin is voluntarily, Carlo.
Yes.
And this is what people of South Sudan must know. Political parties must know, civil society must know, chiefs must know, the media, the journalists, who are sometimes mistakenly or wrongly echoing this wrong information, that refugees must come first before you conduct election. A refugee coming, it cannot be tied to calendar or political process in any country, because it is the key word here is voluntary repatriation. Oslo Convention, Geneva Convention give the right of refugees to return voluntarily. Once refugees
And cannot be tied with
election calendar
Yeah.
or political calendar of any country.
Yeah.
This also applies for internal displaced. Anybody who is moving from his or her original Boma, Payam county to another place for reason, whether voluntarily or forcefully because of the insecurity, that person or return to the original Boma or Payam must be voluntarily, not forcefully.
From his own will.
Forcefully.
But in this case of election, he has the right or she has the right to vote in the place where she is or he is.
Correctly. That's why I said in the beginning,
Yeah.
if we go, people say, no, politicians are agitating, then we must
But
have,
this is why now we are trying to educate ourselves.
Yeah.
Nobody will educate us except we ourselves.
but this is what I was saying.
Yes.
Some politicians were agitating that we must have census before election. If we conduct census tomorrow, I said in the beginning, the Upper Nile is going to be the loser. Why? Because the population has moved away. 2010 census, 2010 census, or 2008 census was better because there was population in Upper Nile, in some most of the area. Now the data we have for 2008 census, if you compare to today, some boomers, Payam and the counties are empty now. People have been relocated because of insecurity, one, because of the war, secondly, because of the flooding. These two factors has caused massive displacement. Now, this massive displacement affects Upper Nile more than any other Equatoria and Barghazal. Now, we must be fair to our people. We cannot victimize population of Upper Nile because the war forced them to move, the flooding forced them to move. We conduct census, and they are underrepresented. Then we say Upper Nile because the statistics say
This is just an example.
This is a number. This is a fact.
Those are facts.
We are giving the fact, Carlo. If you
Good.
conduct census now, Upper Nile will be underrepresented. If they're underrepresented, what does that mean? That means they will have few MPs in the parliament. They have little resources given to support the population there. And the resources will be more in Central Equatoria because the bulk of the people who are displaced internally are in Central Equatoria. So Central Equatoria will have more population. If you quantify this population to the geographical constituencies, they will have more constituencies. If you do it for socio-economic planning, even Central Equatoria must have more schools.
More hospitals.
More hospitals.
Because of the population.
And then
Well,
also,
even you can see now there is
even roads, because population are more. But then you look at Upper Nile, there are few people, that means there are few schools, there are few health centers, there are few constituencies. These are facts we must put to table to our politicians, because we are interesting, census can cause us a problem for us. Because if Upper Nile is underrepresented, the population may not accept the outcome of the census. They may think the census is biased against them. It can even be a source of conflict for us. So we are saying to our people, let us take our time, provide conducive environment for people to return to their villages so that they can conduct census. For election purposes.
And then we cannot tie census with the
Election.
election calendar.
Yes.
This is justification.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, good, wonderful.
Now, when it comes to constitutional making process, I want to reemphasize again, we are not making constitution for political party who are signatory to revitalize peace agreement. We are making constitution for the Republic of South Sudan, which will outlive me and you are speaking here, and all the politicians who are here. It must go beyond our generation. Therefore, we cannot tie. Beyond our generation, there's nothing called revitalize agreement.
Ambassador, let me just give you this information.
Yes.
From 2005,
Yes.
up to 2025, we have children.
Yes.
They're already grown up, boys and girls.
Yes.
They're eligible to vote.
Yes.
Most of them are in the secondary schools and even now in the universities.
Correct.
They didn't exercise any
democratic right.
Any democratic rights. This is the first time for them.
Yeah.
And they're the majority. It needs a massive education from us to these educational institutions.
Civic education, you mean?
Serious civic education.
Yes.
So that they will be aware about their political rights to vote because they are eligible. They were born in 2005. Today now they are 20 years.
Yes.
Plus CPA, they're 25 years. They are eligible to vote and they are the majority of this country. And they need to be given right information so that they exercise their political rights. And this is our main target. And this is what we are focusing on to our politicians and even to the political parties. And to the ministries of education.
Let me make a small correction here. Carlo, the CPA, since the CPA to now, we have 20 years.
20 years.
Not 25.
Okay.
Since we signed CPA in 2005, now we are 2025, we have 20 years.
Yeah.
Since I know CPA.
Good.
But the point which is very important here, Carlo, is this. We are providing civic education in general form.
Yeah.
It is not our right as citizen here to come to the national TV and say, you citizen of South Sudan, vote for party X and Y. That's not our job.
No.
The political party, once the election calendar has come out, will bring them here in this program.
Yeah, they will come with their...
they will come and talk about their manifesto.
Their programs.
And they will tell the people of South Sudan why people should vote for them.
Yeah.
Ours is to say to people of South Sudan, let the citizens have right to exercise their democratic right to vote.
Yeah.
And politicians should not deny them that right by
Extension.
putting obstacle which they know it cannot be implemented, such as conducting first the census,
then permanent
and then make permanent constitution first, while they know very well that the permanent constitution and census cannot be done because they, the politicians themselves, have not provided money for these activities.
Yeah.
It is
especially like the one of the national
yeah, it is very unfair.
Bureau of Statistics.
Yeah, it's very unfair.
When we met them, the time after the extension we visited them, they did not get £1.
I'm saying to you now, Carlo, this program, Build the Nation, its objective is provide factual information for people of South Sudan. We are building South Sudan, we must build South Sudan with the correct foundation, not lies, not deception, not misinformation or propaganda. We have no interest in all those things. What we are saying is politicians who are signatory to agreement, we recognize them. You see, Carlo, it's very important to remind people again. Why do we support the Revitalized Peace Agreement? The Revitalized Peace Agreement has permanent constitution, permanent ceasefire.
Yes.
Since 2018. The skirmishes here and there are just small skirmishes, but the real ceasefire is holding. That's why we have government here in Juba, where all the party who are signatory to the agreement are sitting in the government. We have the bulk of South Sudan is stable. Our enemy is the current economic crisis. If not because of the current economic crisis, life should move on in South Sudan. But we appeal to our government and the political parties who are signatory to the agreement, please put aside your personal interest, put interest of South Sudan first, so that you sacrifice your political, we say before, Carlo, the root causes of crisis in South Sudan are three. People pretend to say there are a lot of things. The root cause of problem in South Sudan are only three. Number one main issue is there is trust deficit. There's a trust deficit among our political elite. They don't trust themselves. Number two, the proliferation of the rebellion. The rebellion became a vehicle to come to power. It has been done in interest of the national unity, but the political elite think that it is rebellion which is paying. That's why in order to get high ranking in the military, you must rebel. In order to become a minister, you must rebel. And if they become a minister, they then sit there. When they are sitting as the minister, the government is good. But once that individual has been removed, he becomes the hardened critic of the government.
The government is bad.
Everything in the government is bad. It is not right. But why didn't you say it when you were the government? Why didn't you tell people of South Sudan that I, X and Y, I'm resigning from this government because of it, X and Y?
Exactly.
Nobody have resigned. They only discover that the government is doing mistakes when they are out. That is the root cause of the problem in South Sudan. The other problem, the number 3, is the lack of will to subject themselves to people through election.
This is what we have been educating ourselves about. This
they are avoiding election because when they know that when election is conducted, the position some individuals are holding now, they cannot have it with election. So what we are saying here is we address these root causes through democratic transformation. And it is the will of people of South Sudan which end this trust deficit, end the proliferation of the rebellion, and then restore the power to the hand of people of South Sudan through ballot box. And we want to applaud President Salva Kiir for that. He continuously stated that time has come, people must go for election. I think that any political party listening now, if you don't have faith in people of South Sudan, and then you have no business calling yourself a political party. You must have faith in people of South Sudan so that they can bring you or they can reject you. But if you are not prepared to this, then you cannot talk about election.
Now we are preparing ourselves within this 24 months, which is going to commence soon after 2 weeks' time. We are preparing ourselves for that peaceful election.
Absolutely.
Peaceful democratic process in this country. And we need to, peace is a strategical plan of the government generally, because President wants to silence guns in this country, and we must embark on that, so that we prepare our citizens for that process to be peaceful, so that we continue beating the drums of peace, so that we exercise that political rights peacefully, periodic. If you fail this year, after 5 or 4 years, you will also exercise that right if you are still alive until you will achieve your objectives. And this is our main objectives for this process of civic education, Ambassador.
Carlo, I want to say again,
that because we are almost running out.
It is so important. We cannot be gagged or told not to talk about Tumaini. Tumaini is a process for this country. If you look at iRadio, Mirai Radio, every morning they're broadcasting live program about Tumaini.
You know, they have resources.
I'm saying we cannot be told not to discuss Tumaini. Tumaini is process which is bringing peace in South Sudan. Progress made in Tumaini, we applaud. Yesterday, I saw in TV, the deputy chief negotiator, Ambassador Mohamed Guyu, give update on what has been done.
Which is good.
Which is very good. What we are saying here is, Tumaini process is a process which is necessary to bring those all other groups to become part of the government.
This is wonderful.
And we are saying that also, the other side, which are not there, there must be a process to bring them back.
They must be engaged. And it's good that through other medias, that they are engaging other...
In this occasion, Carlo, we want to congratulate our church leaders for making effort also to conduct those Thomas Cirillo.
Which is wonderful.
So that
we encourage that one.
So that they can also become
part that engagement.
So that there's a process going also there.
Yes,
Because when you talk about power sharing or responsibility sharing, if you share power with the group in Tumaini now, and then you do not have agreement with those Thomas, again when they come, they also want power sharing. So if this process can go together, even though parallel to one another, so that we can know that these people are coming, they need this much. Those people to Tumaini, they need this much. The current government need this much. So that we don't have revolving door of rebellion. Because the problem...
And we end that rebellion, door of rebellion, and we prepare people for election.
Absolutely.
So that they elect their own leaders. And this is our main target in this program of today.
I want to appeal to our people. Please, let's put aside the fact that if you are removed from position, then you jump and start becoming rebellion. or you become negative against the government. If you feel that something not right in the government, you are in the government, resign. And then tell the people of South Sudan, I'm resigning because of this and this. But don't take when you are removed and then somebody else appointed, then you say, oh, this government not good, oh, this is not correct, this way. So this is the disease we have in South
This
Sudan.
is part of civic education.
Yes.
You know, Ambassador, those are the things that we did not discover. We discover it after
Yes.
this rebellion is happening now. And we are compiling them in one file so that we can say this is good and this is wrong. And we learn through our mistakes.
Even within the political party, Carlo,
Yes.
political parties must have internal democracy
Yeah.
among themselves.
And the act said that
The political party cannot have people sitting there and they don't call meetings. They don't call political bureau meeting, they don't call National Liberation Council meeting, and they are there as if they are the one alone. No. The democracy starts
from the political parties.
like they say, charity starts at
home.
At home. So if you don't practice democracy within your own political party, how can you conduct democracy within the country?
Yeah.
It is important that political party exercise
The
their right.
primary step is there in the political party.
Exactly.
Then it comes to the people all
And
over.
the only
total
way you
Republic of South
can
Sudan.
correct the things and do the right thing is that if you cannot accept changes within the political party, then how do you accept change in the country?
Yeah, that
If you're a
one.
party, you want to govern this country, you must first accept change within your political party.
Yeah.
So as a civic education, the election starts with the political party organizing themselves.
And we soon maybe we are going to see that one when situation is
We
calm.
will invite political parties to come and give their program. Because when we are now embarked on the electoral calendar as part of civic education, let the population know.
I think political party council is dealing with them within these days.
Yes.
He is inviting them one by one.
Yes. To give
There.
them- to give
That
their
one
program.
is good.
Yes.
But we need more engagement. And we need to be part of that so that we know exactly what is going on.
You see, Carlo, what we need is that this is a country must be built on democratic foundation.
Yeah.
You know, people who say that those Ambassador Andoga are sycophant of President Salva Kiir. No, we are not sycophant. We are only telling the truth. President Salva Kiir continuously has been emphasized that we must go for election. If he is somebody who is fearing election, why does he talk about election? It's only the other political parties who are with him in the government are the ones who are not interested in election.
No, we have seen through the endorsement of Greta Bargazal and Greta Equatoria.
Yeah.
And he was, the Upper Nile was preparing his endorsement also, but things have changed. But
My appeal is this. Let me say this straight to His
so
Excellency
that
President.
we conclude
Yeah. Your Excellency President Salva
with
Kiir,
your message to him.
you have demonstrated the political will to stand up, conduct referendum with South Sudan resources. We got independent of South Sudan. You also demonstrate the political will to reach out to our brothers who have rebelled against the government, to bring them on board. That's why you have 2015 agreement, you have 2018 revitalized peace agreement. Now you are engaging in revitalized peace agreement, into mine agreement in Nairobi. We also appeal to you to bring Gerald Thomas Cirillo, Kanyilo Buron to be part of the process. We are very grateful that Simon Gadwij is now coming to implement the agreement in his newest back. That's very positive. But, Your Excellency, we will not have election unless the constitution making process is separated from election calendar. We will not have election unless the census process is delinkt from election process. And then we must have we cannot be able to continue complete comprehensive security sector reform before election. But let us do the minimum security sector reform which will enable conducting free and fair election. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. Ambassador, viewers around the world and across South Sudan, we have reached to the end of this program. I wish we are going to continue next week in this program. Thank you, Ambassador Duku, and thank for our viewers across South Sudan.
Thank you, Carlo. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
bye.
Thank you.
إلى
Thank you.
اللقاء.
Thank you.
The head coach of Blair Academy basketball.